Hi there, this is Thomas Eugene Schuster III, the Expert Mode Gamer, and today we're going to be opening up a mystery booster box of Magic the Gathering. It's the Convention Edition, so this could only be gotten from the Convention and or the Secret Lair. That's where I got this from, like fucking forever ago. This is like one of the last Secret Lair things I did. I'm kind of slowing down on them just because both my hours are cutting back, and so I don't have the money for it no more. And quite frankly, I just got too many goddamn trading cards. So I'm getting a little tired of just sorting cards all the time. So I'm gonna kind of slow down on the cards. But we're gonna crack this open and see what we got in here, man. We got a War Behemoth. He's a 3/6 beast with morph 4 in a plains. Is that shadow coming in over here too? It is. Okay, after we read this one, I'm gonna try to move this table just a little bit forward. And it costs 5 in the plains. All right, let's move this a little bit forward. See if we can get that little shadow to kind of disappear a little bit. Is it still there? Yeah, it's still there. I don't think there's gonna be much I can do about it. Okay. Well, that kind of sucks. We're just going to have to roll with it, man. I am going to move these the hell out of my way. There we go. Move those over there. There we go. All right, and we've got an Excavation Elephant. It's a 3/5 elephant for 4 in the plains. It's got Kicker, 1 in the plains, and when it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. So far, I'm not so impressed with what we got here. We got Capture Spirit, pretty common one here. It's an enchantment for 3 in an island. It's got Flash, enchant creature, and when it enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, and it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Very common one there, Shimmer Scale Drake. It's a 3/4 Drake for 4 in an island. It's got Flying and Cycling 2. Rite of the Serpent. This sounds familiar. It's a sorcery for 4 and 2 swamps. Destroy target creature. If that creature had a 1/1 counter on it, put a 1/1 green snake creature token onto the battlefield. You cost 4 and 2 swamps to kill a creature? So far, I'm not digging this at all, man. Balustrade Spy. It's a 2/3 vampire rogue for 3 in a swamp. It's got flying, and when it enters the battlefield, target player reveals cards from the top of his or her library until he or she reveals a land card, then puts those cards into his or her graveyard. That's actually not too shabby of a one. That one's not too shabby. Goblin Assault. It's an enchantment for 2 in a mountain. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 goblin creature token with haste. Goblin creatures attack each turn if able. Beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 goblin. Yeah, you're not so spiffy there either, guy. Battle Rattle Shaman. It's a 2/2 goblin shaman for 3 in a mountain. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target creature get +2/+0 until end of turn. Ooh, we got us an elf, Lifespring Druid. It's an elf druid for 2/1 elf druid for 2 in a forest, and tap it, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. I will never say no to my elves. But so far, nothing really too spiffy in this little pack here. Groundswell. It's an instant for 1 forest. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Landfall. If you had a land enter the battlefield under your control this turn, that creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn instead. Yeah, so far, nothing really spiffy, man. Armadillo Cloak. I don't know what the hell this thing is, dude. It's an enchantment aura for 1, a forest, and a plains. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has trample. And whenever enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life. That's not a shabby one there. There we go. That one's not shabby. Fountain of Renewal. It's an artifact for 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 1 life. And for 3 and sacking it, you can draw a card. Shatter of the Squirrel. A very common one here. I know this one. This one's pretty crappy too. It's a sorcery for 1 forest, but a 1/1 green squirrel creature token into play. Flashback 1 in a forest. Mycloth. It's a 4/4 fungus for 3 and 2 forest. Devour 2. As it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with twice that many 1/1 counters on it. Okay. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token for each 1/1 counter on Mycloth. Well, you're fucking cool. This thing's pretty badass. There we go. We finally got something fucking worth a shit. What the fuck? Gold mine. It's a land. Tap it for a colorless legacy. Tap. Mark one of card names unmarked nodes. Add 1 mana of any color. What? Oh, so you can only do this like 5 times. This is dumb. Just have it come in with 5 counters on it and remove a counter. This, I don't even know if this is a real card. This can't be real. This is like some sort of weird... Okay, well that was dumb. Well, we got that Myclothif guy. That was pretty cool. Other than that, I was not impressed with that pack at all, man. We're not so impressed with that. We got a Eaterol Hawk. It's a 1/2 bird for 1 in a plains. It's got flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters. And whenever it attacks, you may pay 1 energy. If you do, another target attacking creature gains flying until end of turn. Okay. A Johnny's Pridemate. It's a 2/2 cat soldier for 1 in a plains. And whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on a Johnny's Pridemate. See, that one's pretty good. There we go. Call to Hill. It's an instant for 1 in an island. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Its controller draws a card. Well, that kind of sucks. That means they get to draw a card. Jace's Phantasm. It's a 1/1 illusion for 1 island. It's got flying, and it gets +4/+4 as long as an opponent has 10 or more cards in his or her graveyard. So a 5/5 for 1 island. Oh, that's not shabby. Thraben Full Bloods. It's a 3/2 zombie hound for 2 in a swamp. Delirium. It gets +1/+1 and has menace as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. How much does it get? +1/+1 and menace? We got Daring Demolition. It's a sorcery for 2 and 2 swamps. Destroy target creature or vehicle. For 4? Alright, that's not bad. Maximum Velocity. It's a sorcery for a mountain. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains haste until end of turn. Jumpstart. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs, then exile this card. So you can do that twice. That's not so spiffy. Cinder Hellion. It's a 4/4 Hellion for 4 in a mountain, and it's got trample, and when it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target opponent. Alright. Destructor Dragon. It's a 4/4 dragon for 4 and 2 forest. It's got flying, and when it dies, destroy target non-creature permanent. That's pretty cool. It's when it dies, though, not when it enters. That's kind of sad. We got a Daggerback Basilisk. It's a 2/2 Basilisk for 2 in a forest. It's got Death Touch. Putrefy. It's an instant for 1, a swamp in a forest. Destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. That's a good one. Millikin. This sounds familiar. It's a 0/1 artifact construct for 2. Tap it. Put the top card of your library into your graveyard. Add 1 colorless energy to your mana pool. You only add 1? You're kind of an interesting one. Okay, guy. Belby's Portal. It's a artifact for 5. And when it comes into play, choose a creature type. 3, tap it. Put a creature card of the chosen type from your hand into play. Vigor. It's a 6/6 Elemental Incarnation for 3 and 3 forest. Holy shit, what the hell? It's got trample. If damage would be dealt to another creature you control, prevent that damage. Put a 1/1 counter on that creature for each 1 damage prevented this way. Holy shit! When it's put into the graveyard from anywhere, shuffle into its owner's library. Holy shit, this thing's bad as shit, dude. I like you. Bone Rattler. This can't be real. It's a 4/4 skeleton for 3 and 2 swamps. Creature, skeleton, 1 card name. What the fuck is put into your graveyard from anywhere? Exile it. When you do, create 4 reassembling skeleton token cards and put them into your graveyard. Oh, wait, what? Okay, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, these can't be real, dude. So it's like you get 1 badass card in each pack. All right. Like everything else is like kind of trash. But there's like There's like one badass card and one, pretty decent card in each pack, and then it's like just trash. Thranbin Inspector. It's a 1/2 human soldier for planes, and when it enters the battlefield, investigate. Okay. Knight of the Skyward Eye. It's a 2/2 human knight for 1 in the planes. For 3 in a forest, Knight of Skyward Eye gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. Wishcoin Crab. It's a 2/5 crab for 3 in an island. Mystical Teachings. Instant. 3 in an island. Search your library for an instant card or a card with flash. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library. And it's got flashback 5 in a swamp. An instant card or a card with flash for 3. Okay. Ruin Rat. Pretty common one. It's a 1/1 rat for 1 in a swamp. It's got Death Touch, and when it dies, exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. Bloodright Invoker. It's a 3/1 vampire shaman for 2 in a swamp. For 8, target player loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. This is probably the best pack we've gotten so far. We got some stuff in here. Burst Lightning. It's an instant for 1 mountain. Kicker 4. And it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. If it was kicked, it deals 4 damage to that creature and player instead. So for 1, you do 2, but it takes an extra 4 just to do 2 extra damage. Don't pay the kicker, man. Just stick with the 1, man. Firebolts. It's a sorcery for 1 mountain. Firebolt deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Flashback 4 and a mountain. See, this thing does 2 damage too, man. Rin's Run Vanquisher. It's an elf warrior. It's a 3/3 for 1 in a forest. Got us an elf here. And as an additional cost to play it, reveal an elf card from your hand or pay 3. And it's got Death Touch. This is a really nice elf, dude. This goes really good in elf decks. Aggressive Instinct. Sorcery. It's a sorcery for 1 in a forest. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control for just 1 in a forest. That's pretty cool. This looks cool. Azra Oddsmaker. You look cool, dude. It's a 3/3 Azra Warrior for 1 swamp and a mountain. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may discard a card. If you do, choose a creature. Whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, you draw 2 cards. You'd make a really good commander, but that's a pretty neat one. You're a neat one there, gang. We got Short Sword, pretty common one here. It's an artifact. It's an artifact equipment for 1. It's got equipped creature gets +1/+1, and you can equip it for 1. Master Transmuter. It's a 1/2 artifact human artificer for 3 in an island. And for 1, for an island and tapping it, you return an artifact you control to its owner's hand. You may put an artifact card from your hand into play. Okay. Arch of Arazka. It's a land. It's got Ascend. If you control 2 or more permanents, you get the city's blessing for the rest of the game. Tap it, add a colorless mana, 5, and tap it, draw a card. Activate this ability only if you have the city's blessing. I don't even think we got a super badass card in that pack. We got a lot of decent stuff though, so it kind of balanced out a little bit. Rift, legendary land. Before drawing your hand, you may start the game with card name in your opening hand. If you do, draw 1 fewer card. Mulligans continue as normal. Card name enters the battlefield tapped. Add 1 colorless mana. What the fuck, dude? I don't even know what these can't be actual legal cards. They're like, what the hell, man? Card name? What the fuck is card name, man? Oh my god. Where are we at here? 4? Alright, Ridborn Charge. Whoa, shit. Hey, guy, don't run away from me, man. It's a sorcery for 2 and 2 planes. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains flying until end of turn. Lieutenants of the Guard. It's a 2/2 human soldier for 4 in a planes. Council's Dilemma. When it enters the battlefield, starting with you, each player votes for strength or numbers. Put a 1/1 counter on Lieutenants of the Guard for each strength vote, and put a 1/1 white soldier creature token onto the battlefield for each numbers vote. You'd have to have a lot of opponents to make it worth that 4 in the plains, dude. Uncomfortable Chill. It's an instant for 2 in an island. The creatures your opponents control get -2/-0 until end of turn. Draw a card. Negate. Very common one here. It's an instant for 1 in an island. Counter target non-creature spell. Instill Infection. It's an instant for 3 in a swamp. Put a -1/-1 counter on target creature and draw a card. Wrench Mind. It's a sorcery for 2 swamps. Target player discards 2 cards unless he or she discards an artifact card. Ill-Tempered Cyclops. It's a 3/3 Cyclops for 3 in a mountain. It's got Trample, and for 5 in a mountain, it gets Monstrosity 3, where it gets 3 1/1 counters on it. If it's not monstrous already. If it's already monstrous, then I guess you just should have a look. Then we got Mod Frantic. It's a 1/1 goblin for 1 mountain, and you can sacrifice it to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. Borderland Explorer. It's a 3/1 elf scout for 1 in a forest. We got an elf in every single one of these packs. That's nice. When it enters the battlefield, each player may discard a card. Each player who discarded a card this way may search their library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into their hand, then shuffle their library. Lay of the Land. It's a sorcery for 1 forest. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. That's a pretty good one right there. Bituminous Blast. It's an instant for 3, a swamp and a mountain. It's got Cascade, and it deals 4 damage to target creature. 4 damage, and it's got Cascade, so it's got Cascade. Huh. You're not too shabby there, guy. Soul Ring. Jesus Christ. You gotta know what Soul Ring is, man. It's an artifact for 1. Tap it, add 2 colorless mana. Helm of Awakening. It's an artifact for 2. All spells cost 1 generic mana less to play. Marin of Clan Niltoth. What the hell? You're a mythic. It's a 3/4 commander human shaman for 2, a swamp, and a forest. Whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. Oh wait, I think I might have seen this before. At the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's converted mana cost is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to the battlefield. Otherwise, put it into your hand. Whenever another creature you control dies, get an experience. Holy shit. Oh, this thing's bad as shit, dude. You only cost 4? Oh, you're fucking tight, dude. You'd go good in like a deck where you have to sack your creatures, because then you just bring them right the fuck back, dude. You're fucking cool. I liked that one, dude. Geometric Weird? Okay, guy. It's a 1/1 weird creature for a mountain. At the beginning of each end step, you may have card names, base power, and toughness each become equal to the greatest number of spells and abilities from different sources that were on the stack simultaneously this turn. What the fuck? Okay. Holy shit. Okay, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's 24 packs. Okay. We're on number 5. Alright, we got Abzan Falconer, pretty common one here. It's a 2/3 human soldier for 2 in a plains. It's got Outlast for a plains. Stalwart Avon. It's a 1/3 bird soldier for 2 in a plains. It's got flying and renown 1. We got High Tide Hermit. It's a 4/4 crab for 4 in an island. It's got defender, and when it enters the battlefield, you get 4 freaking energy. Holy shit, pay 2 energy. It can attack this turn as though it didn't have defender. Okay. Treasure Hunt. Sorcery, 1 in an island. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card, then put all cards revealed this way into your hand. What? Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. Oh, this thing is bitchin', dude. This'll go good. I've got some decks this'll actually go really fucking good in, dude, where I can draw a shit ton of cards, dude. Oh, I like this thing, dude. That thing was tight. Ambitious Aetherborn. It's a 4/3 Aetherborn Artificer for 4 in a swamp, and it's got Fabricate 1. Vampire Lacerator. It's a 2/2 Vampire Warrior for a swamp. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life unless an opponent has 10 or less life. What? Oh, I don't like you. You suck. I don't like you at all. Chandra's Pyrohelix. It's an instant for 1 in a mountain, and it deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. We got another Battle Rattle Shaman there. Lignify. It's a tribal enchantment Treefolk Aura for 1 in a forest, and it enchants creature, and the enchanted creature is a 0/4 Treefolk with no abilities. Sad for them, man. Oh, this is the first one we didn't get a freaking elf in, man. Holy shit. Conifer Strider. It's a 5/4 elemental for 3 in a forest. It's got hexproof. It's just a 5/1. That's sad. Cathari Remnant. It's a 0/1 bird skeleton for 2 an island and a swamp. It's got flying, and for a swamp you can regenerate it, and it's got Cascade. You're not very impressive at all, dude. The only thing you're good for is the Cascade thing. We got a Palladium Mire. It's a 2/2 Artifact Mire for 3, and tap it, add 2. Very common card there. Release the Ants. I think I've seen this before. Wasn't this badass? No, maybe not. Instant. 1 in a mountain. Release the Ants deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Clash with an opponent. If you win, return release the ants to its owner's hand. Huh. Yeah, you're not so impressive, guy. I mean, you're not shitty, but Steam Flogger Boss. It's a 3/3 Goblin Rigger for 3 in a mountain, and other riggers you control get +1/+0 and have haste. And if a rigger you control would assemble a contraption, it assembles 2 contraptions instead. I have no idea what those are, dude. You're the first rigger I've ever seen, dude. What the fuck? Banding Sliver? This is an actual guy, isn't it? It's a 3/3 Sliver for 3 and 2 planes. All slivers have banding. Yeah, this is an actual card. What the fuck? Why is it all funky, dude? So are the rest of these actual cards? The card name things? Those can't be right, dude. Those can't be real cards. I'm not using those as real cards, dude. Oh, here we go. Test card. Not for constructed play. Oh, okay, there we go. They all say that, don't they? There we go. That's what's going on. You get like some sort of like fake card in each one. Okay. Yeah, test card. Okay. Okay, then. I think this became a real card, though, eventually, I think. I think there's one just... It's either that one or one just like that. Celestial Flare. It's an instant for 2 planes. Target player sacrifices an attacking or blocking creature. Pitfall Trap. It's an instant for 2 in the planes. If exactly 1 creature is attacking, you may pay 1 rather than pay Pitfall Trap's mana cost. Destroy target attacking creature without flying. Mnemonic Wall. It's a 0/4 wall with Defender because it is a wall for 4 in an island. And when it enters the battlefield, you may return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Not a shabby one there. Thought Scour, pretty common one here. It's an instant for an island. Target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Draw a card. Disowned Ancestor. It's a pretty common one here too. 0/4 Spirit Warrior for a swamp. And it's got Outlast 1 in a swamp. Nameless Inversion. It's a tribal instant for 1 and a swamp. It's got Changeling. Target creature gets +3/-3 and loses all creature types until end of turn. Okay. That was a funky one. Jitu Lava Runner. We'll go with that. It's a 1/2 human wizard for a mountain. As long as there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, it gets +1/+0 and has haste. Another Mog Frantic there. Pulse of Marasa. I think this was a good one. Instant. 2 in a forest. Return target creature or land card from a graveyard to its owner's hand. You gain 6 life. Alright. Hey, we've got another elf. Arbor Elf. This is one of my favorites, dude. He's a 1/1 elf druid for a forest, and he untaps target forest by tapping him. One of my favorites there, man. Pillory of the Sleepless. It's an enchant creature for 1 a plains in a swamp. And enchanted creature can't attack or block. And has at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. Ooh. The enchanted creature gets that. Yeah, so your opponent's going to be losing life. Oh, sucks for them, guy. That was a good one. Sandstone Oracle. It's a 4/4 artifact Sphinx for 7. And it's got flying, and when it enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. If that player has more cards in hand than you, draw cards equal to the difference. That's cool. You're a good one. I might have to put you in Animar. Black Knight. It's a 2/2 human knight for 2 swamps. First strike and protection from white. Okay. You look cool, dude. I like the look of that. Misdirection. It's an instant for 3 and 2 islands. You may exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay its mana cost. Change the target of target spell with a single target. That's kind of cool. You can just exile a blue card. Yeah, that's really good. That's a good one there. Chimney Goph. It's a star +1 test card imp for 4 and a swamp. Flying. Its power is equal to the number of card types among cards in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. And when it dies, target opponent puts a card from their hand on top of their library. Right. Okay. Alright, what we got here? Sheer Drop. It's a sorcery for 2 in a plains. Destroy target tapped creature. Awaken 3. 5 in a plains. If you cast this spell for 5 in a plains, also put 3/1/1 counters on target land you control, and it becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. Huh. That's kind of a spiffy one. Ballynock Cohort. It's a 2/2 Kithikin soldier for 2 in a plains. It's got first strike, and it gets +1/+1 as long as you control another white creature. Stream of Thought. It's a sorcery for an island. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. You shuffle up to 4 cards from your graveyard into your library. Replicate 2 and 2 islands. Okay. Sigiled Starfish. It's a 0/3 starfish for 1 in an island. It's got tap it to scry 1. Certain Death. It's a sorcery for 5 in a swamp. Destroy target creature. Its controller loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Bartisan Bats. It's a 3/1 bat for 3 in a swamp. It's got flying. Goblin Fireslinger. It's a 1/1 goblin warrior for a mountain. Tap it and it deals 1 damage to target player. Battle Rampart. It's a 1/3 wall with defender because it's a wall for 2 in a mountain. And tap it, target creature gains haste until end of turn. Yeah, that's not so shabby. Crawl Forgers. It's a 4/4 insect scout for 4 in a forest. And when it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each creature card in your graveyard. Elves of Deep Shadow. It's a 1/1 elf druid for a forest. Tap it, produce a swamp, and it deals 1 damage to you, which kind of sucks. Blightning. It's a sorcery for 1, a swamp, and a mountain, and it deals 3 damage to target player. That player discards 2 cards. Holy shit, dude. You're freaking cool as hell. I like its ability. I like what it does. I like it for the cost that it is, and the artwork is bitchin', dude. This was a really cool card, dude. I really like this one. Khazad-dû Refuge. It's a land. It enters the battlefield tapped. It's just a dual land, and when it enters, you gain 1 life. Produces a mountain and a forest. Pestilence. It's an enchantment. This sounds familiar. For 2 and 2 swamps. At the end of each turn, if no creatures are in play, sacrifice it. 1 swamp. Pestilence deals 1 damage to each creature and player? Huh. Interesting. You're kind of a nifty one there. That thing's pretty cool. We like that. Beastmaster Ascension. It's an enchantment for 2 in a forest. Whenever a creature you control attacks, you may put a quest counter on Beastmaster Ascension, and when it has 7 or more quest counters on it, creatures you control get +5/+5 until end of turn. Get +5/+5. Rowl's Vanguard. Vanguard, what the fuck? Requirement. Your starting deck contains only instant, sorcery, and land cards. Starting hand size +1. Your starting life total is -5. If an instant or sorcery spell you cast would cause you to draw one or more cards, draw an additional card. If an instant or sorcery spell you cast would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals 1 additional damage to that permanent or player. This thing's broken as fuck, dude. Yeah, no wonder why it's not an actual card. No wonder, man. Crib Swap. What the fuck? That's messed up. Tribal Instant Shapeshifter for 2 and a plains. It's a changeling. Exile target creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature token with changeling. What? Okay. Youthful Knight. It's a 2/1 human knight for 1 in a plains. It's got first strike. Nagging Thoughts. That's sad. Sorcery. 1 in an island. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. It's got Madness. 1 in an island. So the Madness cost is the same as the regular cost? That's kind of dumb. Sycopate. It's a instant for X and an island. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Weight of the Underworld. It's an enchant creature for 3 in a swamp, and enchanted creature gets -3, -2. Phyrexian Reclamation. It's an enchantment for a swamp. 1 a swamp, pay 2 life. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Ingot Chewer. It's a 3/3 elemental for 4 in a mountain. It's got, when it enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact, and it's got Evoke for a mountain. Pretty common card here. Lightning Javelin. It's a sorcery for 3 in a mountain, and it deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and you scry 1. This one's pretty common too. Rox Maulers. It's a 4/4 Rhino Soldier for 4 in a forest. It's got Trample and Renown 2. Oh, hey, that's a good one. Might of the Masses. It's an instant for a forest. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature you control. That's really freaking cool. I like this card. That was a good one. Rosemane Senator. It's a 4/4 Senator Soldier for 3, a forest and a plains. It's got Convoke and Vigilance. Great Furnace. It's an artifact land that produces a mountain. Core Chant. It's an instant for 2 in a plains. All damage that would be dealt this turn to target creature you control by a source of your choice is dealt to another target creature instead. That's funny. That's funny as hell, man. The Mirari Conjecture. It's an enchantment saga for 4 in an island. It's got, its first one is return target instant card from your graveyard to your hand. Then at level 2, return target sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. And at level 3, until end of turn, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. Okay. Aggressive Crag. It's a land. At the beginning of combat step, tap it. What? You add a mountain or a plains when you tap it. This thing's a piece of crap, dude. Well, we're a third of the way done, and I'm not so super impressed with this so far, man. I mean, it's not... It hasn't been a terrible box. It's just very meh, man. I mean, we do get, like, the occasional badass card, but... I guess I'm just too used to those collector boxes, man. Desperate Sentry. It's a 1/2 human soldier for 2 in a plains, and when it dies, put a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi horror creature token onto the battlefield, and it gets +3/+0 as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. Renewed Faith. It's an instant for 2 in a plains. You gain 6 life. It's got cycling 1, and when you cycle it, you gain 2 life. Ensoul Artifact. I think I've seen this before. It's an enchant artifact for 1 in an island. And enchanted artifact is a creature with base power and toughness 5/5 in addition to its other types. That's pretty cool. Dream Twist. I haven't seen this one before. It's an instant for an island. Target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Flashback 1 in an island. Thornborn Archer. It's an elf archer, 1/2 elf archer for a swamp. And whenever it attacks, each opponent who doesn't control an elf loses 1 life. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that guy. Fester Creep. He's a 0/0 elemental for 1 in a swamp. And when he enters the battlefield, with a 1/1 counter on it. 1 in a swamp. Remove a 1/1 counter from it. All other creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. You're actually not so shabby if you have a way to, like, put counters on them. If you can keep putting counters on him, then his ability's actually worth a damn. Scream March Brawler. It's a 2/3 Orc Berserker for 2 in a mountain. And it's got dash 1 in a mountain. Cinder Hellion again. Eternal Witness. Very common card here. It's a 2/1 Human Shaman for 2 and 2 island, forced. And when it enters the battlefield, you may return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Fertile Ground. And it's an enchant land for 1 in a forced. Whenever enchant land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of any color. Shipwreck Singer. It's a 1/2 Siren for an island and a swamp. Pretty common one here too. Flying. It's got for 1 in an island. Target creature an opponent controls attacks this turn to Fable. 1 in a swamp. Tap it. Attacking creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Rohan's Monument. Another pretty common one here. It's a legendary artifact for 3. Green creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast a creature spell, target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. Whoa, what the hell? Darksteel Garrison. It's an artifact fortification for 2. Fortified land is indestructible. Okay. Whenever fortified land becomes tapped, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Fortify 3. Attached to target land you control. Fortify only as a sorcery. This card comes into play unattached and stays in play if the land leaves play. So it's like an equipment, but for lands. Huh. It takes 3 and it costs 2. This thing's all funky, dude. Well, that's neat. I like that just because it's all funky. Look at the artwork on it, dude. All right. Dragon Lord Ojute. That sounds cool. It's a 5/5 Commander Elder Dragon for 3, a plains and an island. It's got flying and it has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Okay. When it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So you get to draw a card whenever it deals combat damage. I don't think you're super badass, but you're not terrible. You're a mythic. This thing's a mythic, dude. You're not all that, man. All right. Whammy Burn. What the fuck? It's an instant for a mountain. It's a test card. Shuffle your whammy deck. What the fuck is a whammy deck? Then reveal cards from the top of your whammy deck until you reveal an island or choose to stop. Then, if no islands were revealed this way, this deals X damage to any target, where X is the number of cards revealed. A whammy deck consists of a plains, island, swamp, mountain, and forest. What the fuck? This thing's dumb as hell, dude. What the fuck? A whammy deck? What the fuck? I'm not so impressed with that. We got Excoriate, and there we go. It's a sorcery for 3 in a plains. Exile target tapped creature. Lightwalker. It's a 2/1 human warrior for 1 in a plains. And it has flying as long as it has a 1/1 counter on it. Cloak of Mist. It's an enchant creature for 1 in an island. And enchanted creature can't be blocked. That's pretty cool. You're a good one. Doorkeeper. It's a 0/4 homunculus for 1 in an island. It's got Defender, 2 in an island, and tap it. Target player puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard, where X is the number of creatures with Defender you control. Oh, that thing's fucking tight. This thing's fucking tight, dude. I need to build a defender deck at some point, dude. That'd be cool. Merciless Resolve. It's an instant for 2 in a swamp. As an additional cost to cast Merciless Resolve, sacrifice a creature or land. Draw 2 cards. Ravenous oh my god, I'm not going to be able to say. Chalupacabra. Whatever, man. It's a 2/2 beast horror for 2 and 2 swamps. And when it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature and opponent controls. Pretty common one there. Goblin Warpaint. It's an enchant creature for 1 in a mountain. And enchant creature gets +2/+2 and has haste. Lightning Shrieker. It's a 5/5 dragon for 4 in a mountain. That's pretty cool. Flying, trample, and haste. At the beginning of the end step, Lightning Shrieker's owner shuffles it into his or her library. Aww. Oh, that's sad, guy. You were really cool until I had to shuffle you away, man. That's sad. Sakura Tribe Elder, pretty common one here. It's a 1/1 Snake Shaman for 1 in a forest. And, sack it, search your library for a basic land card, put that card onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Baelith Gorger. It's a 4/4 beast for 2 and 2 forest. It's got kicker 4, and if it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 3 1/1 counters on it. You're not so impressive, guy. That's going to cost you 8 just to have a 7/7. Plaxcaster Frogling. It's a 0/0 frog mutant for 1, a forest, and an island. Graft 3. Comes into play with 3 1/1 counters on it. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may move a 1/1 counter from this creature onto it. 2. Target creature with a 1/1 counter on it gains Shroud until end of turn. Huh. You're kind of a funky one there, guy. Blinding Soul Eater. That sounds cool. It's a 1/3 artifact cleric for 3. And it's got the pay 2 life or a colorless, I'm guessing? Yeah, oh no, plains. Okay, there we go. Tap target creature. Okay. Whoa, you look cool. Maelstrom Archangel. It's a 5/5 angel for the entire rainbow, man. Flying. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may play a non-land card from your hand without paying its mana cost. Holy shit! Oh, you're a bad bitch, dude. Oh, that was fucking tight. That was a good one. Liliana, Death's Majesty. It's a planeswalker that enters with 5 loyalty, 3 and 2 swamps. For +1, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. -3, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Or -7, destroy all non-zombie creatures. Oh, that was tight, dude. We got fucking planeswalker, man. Everlasting Lich. It's a 4/0 zombie for 2 and 3 swamps. It can't block and it can't die. This creature has indestructible, can't be sacrificed, and doesn't go to the graveyard for having 0 toughness. The fuck? Okay, you're a funky thing, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to open these next 2, and then we'll be halfway done. I'm going to pause and go grab a drink. Before my voice gives out, man. Acrobatic Maneuver. It's an instant for 2 in a plains. Exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Draw a card. I think that's a pretty common one. Geist of the Mirrors. I don't know. 3/1 spirit for 1 and 2 planes. It's got flying. You're not impressive, guy. Wretch Gref. I think I've seen this thing before. Okay. It's a 3/4 Eldrazi Hippogriff for 7. It's got a merge 5 in an island. And when you cast it, draw a card. And it's got flying. Storm Sculptor. It's a 3/2 Merfolk Wizard for 3 in an island. It can't be blocked, and when it enters the battlefield, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. Hideous End. It's an instant for 1 and 2 swamps. Destroy target non-black creature. Its controller loses 2 life. Gurmag Angler. It's a 5/5 zombie fish for 6 in a swamp. It's got Delve. Shattering Spree. You sound neat. It's a sorcery for a mountain. It's got replicate one mountain. Holy shit. When you cast this spell, copy it for each time you pay just one mountain, man. Okay. Destroy target artifact. You're a really cool one, dude. I like you. Another Battle Rampart. Ruin Claw Bear. Pretty common one here. It's just a 2/2 bear for 1 in a forest. Kavu Primarch. It's a 3/3 Kavu for 3 in a forest. It's got Kicker 4. It's got Convoke. And if it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 4 1/1 counters on it. It's got Convoke. Okay, I'm not gonna... That's kind of nice that it's got Convoke at least. Fusion Elemental. It's an 8/8 Elemental for the full rainbow. This thing's kind of cool. I like the look of this thing, dude. That one's kind of neat. Alloy Mire. It's a 2/2 Artifact Mire for 3 and tap it. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Defense of the Heart. This sounds familiar, dude. It's an enchantment for 3 in a forest. During your upkeep, if one of your opponents controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice Defense of the Heart. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards and put those creatures into play. Shuffle your library after. You know, this might be useful other than the fact that, like, I like to slam the field with creatures. It's kind of my thing. So I almost would never be able to use this thing because I always have most of the creatures. Oh, hey, Caged Sun, dude. It's an artifact for 6. It enters the battlefield. Choose a color. Creatures you control of the chosen color get +1/+1. And whenever a land's ability causes you to add 1 or more mana of the chosen color, add an additional mana of that color. That's a good one right there, Caged Sun. Witty Demon. A 4/3 demon for 1 and 2 swamps. It's a test card. It's got flying, and when it enters the battlefield, if your starting library had at least 13 cards over the minimum, search your library for a card and put that card into your hand. Then shuffle your library. Otherwise, it does 4 damage to you. What a piece of shit. Screw you, Mr. Demon. Alright, what do we got here? Searing Light. It's an instant for a plains. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature with 2 or less power 2 or less. Refurbish. It's a sorcery for 3 in a plains. Return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's nice. That's a good one. Hinterland Drake. It's a 2/3 Drake for 2 in an island. It's got flying and it can't block artifact creatures. Okay. It's the Katushi? I don't know. It's of knowledge, man. It's a pretty common card. It's an enchant creature you control for 1 in an island. And when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. And enchanted creature has +1/+1 and flying. Pretty good deal for just 1 in an island. Dousing Gloom. It's an instant for 2 in a swamp. And it deals 2 damage to target creature and you gain 2 life. Fenhauler. It's a 5/5 insect for 6 in a swamp. It's got improvise and it can't be blocked by artifact creatures. A 5/5 insect? You're a big fucker, dude. Keldon Halberder. It's a 4/1 human warrior for 4 in a mountain. It's got first strike and suspend 4 for a mountain. We got another lightning javelin. Sylvan Bounty. This sounds familiar. It's an instant for 5 in a forest. Target player gains 8 life. Basic land cycling. No, you're not familiar at all, dude. I've never seen you before. 8 life, but you cost 6, dude. Beast Within. It's an instant for 2 in a forest. Destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 beast creature token. Reflector Mage. It's a 2/3 human wizard for 1 a plains and an island. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. That creature's owner can't cast spells with the same name as that creature until your next turn. Huh. You're kind of spiffy. That was a spiffy one. We got Swiftwater Cliffs, pretty common one. You gain 1 life when it enters tapped, and it can produce an island or a mountain. Tower of Eons. It's an artifact for 4 for 8, and tap it, you gain 10 life. Holy shit. You cost 8, though. That's the only bad part, but holy shit, dude. 10 life? Phyrexian Arena. Oh, I remember this one. It's an enchantment for 1 and 2 swamps. At the beginning of upkeep, you draw a card and lose 1 life. That's a pretty cool one right there, dude. Memory Bank. It's a test card sorcery for 1 in an island. Draw a card, bank. If you cast it from your hand, exile it until the end of the match. You may cast it from exile during another game this match. It still counts towards your deck minimum. What the fuck? This thing's a big time piece of shit, dude. All right, I'm going to pause it real quick to grab a drink, and then we'll hit the other half of this box, man. All right, where were we? Open guy. At least these are opening really easy. I like that, man. Expose Evil. It's an instant for 1 in a plains. Tap up to 2 target creatures and investigate. Terrashia's Grasp. It's a sorcery arcane for 2 in a plains. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. You gain life equal to its converted mana cost. Oh, wait. This thing is pretty cool if I remember right. Sire Eleanor the Discerning. It's a star 4 commander human knight for 3 and 2 islands. Its power is equal to the number of cards in your hand. And when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Spells your opponents cast that target it cost 2 more to cast. You're not too spiffy of a one. Not too shabby of a one there. Phantasmal Bear. It's a 2/2 bear illusion for an island. And when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Torment of Venom. It's an instant for 2 and 2 swamps. Put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature. Its controller loses 3 life unless he or she sacrifices another non-land permanent or discards a card. Animate Dead. It's an enchantment aura for 1 in a swamp. Enchant creature card in a graveyard. When it enters the battlefield, if it's on the battlefield, it loses enchant creature card in a graveyard and gains enchant creature put onto the battlefield with Animate Dead. Okay. Return enchanted creature card to the battlefield under your control and attach Animate Dead to it. When Animate Dead leaves the battlefield, that creature's controller sacrifices it. Enchant creature gets -1/-0. This thing's all funky the way it's describing what it does, dude. Falcon Wraith Reaver. It's a 2/2 vampire for 1 in a mountain. Nimble Blade Kenra. It's a 1/3 Jackal Warrior for a 1 in a mountain, and it's got prowess. Wolfkin Bond. It's an enchant creature for 4 in a forest. And when it enters the battlefield, put a 2/2 green wolf creature token onto the battlefield. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. Ivy Lane. This one's a bad bitch, dude. Ivy Lane Denizen. It's a 2/3 elf warrior for 3 in a forest. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Yeah, this thing's tight as hell, dude. I can't believe this is only a common, too, dude. This is a bad fucking card, dude. Kiora's Follower. It's a 2/2 merfolk for a forest and an island. Tap it, untap target permanent. Another target permanent. Oh, you're cool. This thing's freaking tight. Field of Ruin. It's a land. Tap it to produce a colorless, to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. 2, tap it, sacrifice it, destroy target non-basic land and opponent controls. Each player searches his or her library for a basic land card, puts it onto the battlefield, then shuffles his or her library. This would suck, because someone could destroy my Gaia's Cradle with it, man. I don't like you. Asceticism. It's an enchantment for 3 and 2 forest. Creatures you control can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. And for 1 and a forest, you can regenerate target creature. Holy shit! We got a Desolation Twin in here? Oh, hell yeah, dude. This thing is a 10/10 Eldrazi for 10, and when you cast it, put a 10/10 colorless Eldrazi creature token onto the battlefield. So you get 2 10/10s, dude. So you got 20 damage to dish out with this thing, dude. This thing is tight as hell. I like this card. That was cool. Sunnymerit. Okay. It's a test card sorcery for 4 and 2 swamps. Reverse Miracle Swamp. What? If this card is on the bottom of your library as you begin searching it, you may cast it by paying its reverse miracle cost. Exile all creatures. Whoa! Shit, dude! That thing's all funky, dude. I don't like those exile creature things, man. So that's what I like to do. I like to have the creatures on the field, man. We got Righteous Cause. It's an enchantment for 3 and 2 planes. Whenever a creature attacks, you gain 1 life. That's freaking cool. That was a really good one. Cathar's Companion. It's a 3/1 hound for 2 and a planes. And when you cast a non-creature spell, Cathar's Companion gains indestructible until end of turn. Okay. Embodiment of Spring. I've seen you. It's a 0/3 elemental for an island. 1 a forest and tap it and sack it. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Portent. It's a sorcery for an island. Look at the top 3 cards of target player's library, then put them back in any order. You may have that player shuffle their library. Draw a card at the beginning of next turn's upkeep. This is really cool for just 1 island, dude. You're a really spiffy card for just a single island there, guy. Vampire Nighthawk. It's a 2/3 vampire shaman for 1 and 2 swamps. Flying, Death Touch, and Lifelink. You're pretty cool there, guy. Spreading Rot. Destroy target land. Its controller loses 2 life. It's a sorcery for 4 in a swamp. Wayward Giant. It's a 4/5 giant. Are you shocked? For 4 in a mountain. It's got menace. Thresher Lizard. It's a 3/2 lizard for 2 in a mountain. It gets +1/+2 as long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. Okay. Natural Connection. It's an instant for 2 in a forest. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Farseek. Pretty common card here. Sorcery for 1 in a forest. Search your library for a plains, island, swamp, or mountain card and put it onto the battlefield tap. Then shuffle your library. Shardless Agent. I've seen you before. What do you do again? It's a 2/2 artifact human rogue for 1 a forest and an island, and it's got Cascade. That's it. Well, you're not so spiffy there. You look cool though. I like the color scheme and the artwork there. Thornwood Falls. It's one of those dual lands that enters tapped. You get a life when it enters, and it produces a forest or an island. Oh, I don't like you, dude. This thing sucks. This was garbage. This is our good card. This thing's a piece of shit, dude. It's a questing, whatever the hell that is, griff thingy. It's a 4/4 little griff thingy for 1 a forest, a plains, and an island. For a forest, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Target opponent puts a 1/1 green hippo creature token into play. For a plains, it gains protection from black and from red until end of turn. Target opponent gains 2 life. And for an island, it gains flying until end of turn. Target opponent may draw a card. This thing's a total piece of shit, dude. I don't like you. You're fucking trash. We got Mizzix Mastery. It's a sorcery for 3 in a mountain. Exile target card that's an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. For each card exiled this way, copy it, and you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Exile Mizzix Mastery. And it's got Overload 5 and 3 mountains, dude. This will pretty much end the fucking game if you know what you're doing, dude. This thing's a bad fucker, dude. And we got Corrupted Key. It's a test card artifact key for a swamp. As long as it's tapped, creatures you control have menace and death touch. Well, this thing was cool. That would have been a cool one, dude. Alright, we got Center Soul. It's an instant for 1 in a plains. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Rebound. Inspired Charge. Pretty common one here. It's an instant for 2 and 2 plains. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. Sleep. Another pretty common one. It's a sorcery for 2 and 2 islands. Tap all creatures target player controls. Those creatures don't untap during that player's next untap step. Diminish. It's an instant for an island. Target creature has base power and toughness 1/1 until end of turn. Induce Despair. That's sad. Don't do that, guy. It's an instant for 2 in a swamp. Has an additional cost to cast Induce Despair. Reveal a creature card from your hand. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, where X is the revealed card's converted mana cost. Feral Abomination. It's a 5/5 Thrall for 5 in a swamp with Death Touch. Volcanic Rush. It's an instant for 4 in a mountain. Attacking creature gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Another Lightning Shrieker there. Silk Weaver Elite. It's a 2... I don't think I've seen you. Have I ever seen you? It's a 2/2 Elf Archer for 2 and a forest. It's got Reach. When it enters the battlefield, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, draw a card. Huh. Yeah, I don't think... It's an elf I don't think I've ever seen before, man. Not particularly powerful, but I'm glad I got it just because it's an elf I didn't have, man. We got Harmonize. Very common card here. It's a sorcery for 2 and 2 forest. Draw 3 cards. Erosa's Champion. It's a 2/2 human soldier for 1, a mountain and a plains, and it's got double strike. Oh, you're not so shabby for 3, dude. A double striker, 2/2 double striker for 3? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Cathodian. This is a pretty common one. It's a 3/3 artifact construct for 3, and when it dies, you add 3 colorless mana. Null Spine Dragon. I don't think I've seen this before. It's a 7/5 dragon for 5 and 2 mountains. It's got flying, and when it comes into play, you may discard your hand and draw cards equal to the damage dealt to target opponent this turn. What? Huh. You're kind of a nifty one there, guy. You'd have to use this right, but yeah, that's kind of... It's kind of a nifty one there, dude. Solemn Silacrum. I think this is that one, if I'm thinking right. It's a 2/2 artifact golem for 4, and when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library, and when it dies, you may draw 1 card. No, this is a different one than the one I was thinking of. Enchanted Prairie. It's an enchantment land. It enters the battlefield tapped. Tap. Wait, what? At a plains or an island. So it's essentially a land all on its own, but it's got to be enchanted to something. Oh, okay. Alrighty then. We got Stonehaven Medic. It's a 1/3 core cleric for 1 in a plains, and for a plains and tapping it, you gain 1 life. Candlelight Vigil. It's an enchantment creature aura for 3 in a plains. And enchanted creature gets +3/+2 and has vigilance. Cloudkin Seer, pretty common one here. It's a 2/1 elemental wizard for 2 in an island. And when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. We got Impulse. It's an instant for 1 in an island. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Never Happened. I don't think I've ever seen you before. It's a sorcery for 2 in a swamp. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from that player's graveyard or hand and exile it. I like the artwork. That's tight looking, dude. Dread Drone. It's a 4/1 Eldrazi drone for 4 and a swamp. When it enters the battlefield, put 2 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature tokens onto the battlefield. They have sacrificed this creature. Add 1 colorless to your mana pool. 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Okay. Goblin Matron. It's a 1/1 goblin for 2 in a mountain. And when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a goblin card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Oh, that's not so shabby. Lightning Bolt. It's an instant for a mountain. It deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Zendikar's Royal. Oh, hell yeah, dude. It's an enchantment for 3 and 2 forest. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 2/2 green elemental creature token onto the battlefield. This is a bitchin' one, dude. I had that in my Azusa deck for a little while. Giant Spider. It's a 2/4 spider with reach for 3 and a forest. Vengeful Rebirth. It's a sorcery for 4, a mountain and a forest. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. If you return a non-land card to your hand this way, Vengeful Rebirth deals damage equal to that card's converted mana cost to target creature or player. Exile Vengeful Rebirth. Huh. Alright. Kind of a spiffy one. Gruul Signet. It's an artifact for 2. 1 tap it, add a mountain and a forest to your mana pool. Just a mana rock there. Doomgape? What the fuck? Holy shit, 10/10. It's a 10/10 elemental for 4 and 3 of combination swamps and forest, man. Trample. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Holy shit. I was going to say, that really sucks that you have to sack a creature, but at least you're getting something for it. This thing's kind of cool. I like this thing, dude. This is a kind of a funky one, man. You're kind of a cool guy there, dude. Goblin Charbelcher. It's an artifact for 4. 3, tap it, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land card. It deals damage equal to the number of non-land cards revealed this way to target creature or player. If the revealed land card was a mountain, it deals double the damage instead. Put the revealed cards on the bottom of your library in any order. Baneslayer Aspirant. It's a 2/2 test card human soldier for 1 in a plains. It gets +3/+3 and has flying, first strike, and lifelink as long as you have 1 or more emblems. Okay. Okay, guy. We're down to the last third of the packs, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll put those over there so we know when we're down to our final 5. All right. Caught in the Brights. It's an enchant creature for 2 in a plains. And enchant creature can't attack or block. When a vehicle you control attacks, exile enchanted creature. Oh, we're going to run it the fuck down, dude. That poor bastard got ran the hell down, man. We got Fragmentize. It's a sorcery for a plains. Destroy target artifact or enchantment with converted mana cost 4 or less. Chronostutter. It's an instant for 5 in an island. Put target creature into its owner's library second from the top. Choking Tethers, this is a pretty common one, is an instant for 3 in an island. Tap up to 4 target creatures, cycling 1 in an island, and when you cycle it, you may tap target creature. Bitter Revelation, it's a sorcery for 3 in a swamp. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. You lose 2 life. Driver of the Dead, this is a pretty common one. It's a 3/2 vampire for 3 in a swamp. Oh my god. When Driver of the Dead dies, return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Goblin Rough Rider. I think this is a pretty common one too. It's a 3/2 Goblin Knight for 2 in a mountain. Curse of the Night Hunt. It's an enchant player for 2 in a mountain. Creatures enchanted player controls attack each combat if able. Okay. I don't really like the sound of that. I don't want to be attacked, guy. Pierce the Sky, pretty common one. It's an instant for 1 in a forest. Pierce the Sky deals 7 damage to target creature with flying. Daggerback Basilisk. It's a 2/2 Basilisk for 2 in a forest with Death Touch. I think we might have seen that one already. Mist Meadow Witch. It's a 1/1 wizard for 1 and either a plains or an island. For 2, a plains and an island, exile target creature. Return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So it's a blinking thing. We got Lightning Greaves, pretty common one here. It's an artifact equipment for 2. Equipped creature has haste and shroud, and its equipment cost is 0. Dominus oh my god, I can't say Fealty. Oh my god. Whatever, man. It's a 4/4 spirit avatar for 5 of any combination of mountain and islands. Flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may gain control of target permanent until end of turn. If you do, untap it and it gains haste until end of turn. Whoa, shit, you're a bad fucker, dude. I like this thing, dude. This thing was neat. Ooh, this is a bad son of a bitch, dude. We got Evra, Halicon Witness. It's a 4/4 commander avatar for 4 and 2 planes. It's got lifelink. For 4, you can exchange your life total with its power, dude. So if you've got 40 life, your life will become 4, but its attack will become 40. But it's got lifelink, so you can keep switching your life and its attack power over and over again, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, this guy's a bad fucker. In fact, I don't know if I have it in my lifelink deck or not, but I know it's on my list to get added into there, dude. That's a bad fucker. We liked that, dude. Spellmorph Raised Dead. Okay. It's a test card instant for a swamp. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Spell Morph for a swamp. You may cast this card face down as a 2/2 creature for 3. Cast it anytime for its spell morph cost. What the fuck? That thing's all funky. Maybe. This one doesn't want to open. This one wanted to be difficult, man. Abzan Ruinmark. It's an enchant creature for 2 and a plains. And enchanting creature gets +2/+2. And if enchanted creature has vigilance as long as you control a black or green permanent. Eon's Judgment. It's a sorcery for 4 and a plains. Exile target creature or enchantment. Frantic Search, pretty common one here. It's an instant for 2 and an island. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Untap up to 3 lands. Fairy Invaders. It's a 3/3 fairy rogue for 4 and an island. It's got flash and flying. Butcher's Glee. It's an instant for 2 and a swamp. Target creature gets +3/+0 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Regenerate it. Dreadbringer Lampads. It's a 4/2 enchant creature nymph for 4 and a swamp. Whenever it or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gains Intimidate until end of turn. Gorehorn Minotaurs. It's a 3/3 Minotaur warrior for 2 and 2 mountains. It's got Bloodthirst 2. Okay, that's it. And we've seen the Nibble Blade Kiena before. Praise Vengeance. It's an instant for forced. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and it's got Rebound. Caustic Caterpillar. It's a 1/1 insect for a forest. 1 in a forest. Sack it. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Shambling Remains. It's a 4/3 zombie core for 1 a swamp and a mountain. And a can't block, and it's got Unearth, a swamp, and a mountain. A Comb Refuge. It's one of those lands that enter tapped, and you gain 1 life, and it produces a swamp or a mountain. Bone Splitter, pretty common one here. It's an artifact equipment for 1. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, and it equips for 1. Expropriate. Well, if I remember right, this was a good one. Sorcery, 7 and 2 islands. Council's Dilemma. Starting with you, each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn after this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it. Exile. Everyone's going to be voting for the freaking money because nobody wants you to have extra turns, dude. But yeah, that's a good one there, dude. Inspirational Antelope. It's a test card, 1/3 antelope for 1 in a forest. Legacy. Before the game starts, choose a keyword or ability word and write it below. Spells with blank you cast cost 1 less to cast. Okay. We're going to open this one up, and I'm going to get another drink, and then we'll open the last 5 after this one. Maybe. There we go. Conviction. It's an enchant creature for 1 and a plains. Enchant creature gets +1/+3, and for plains, you can return it to its owner's hand. Aven Battle Priest, pretty common one here. It's a 3/3 bird cleric for 5 and a plains. It's got flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life. Pondering Mage. It's a 3/4 human wizard for 3 and 2 islands. And when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Then put them back in any order. You may shuffle your library, draw a card. Oh, okay. Steady Progress. It's an instant for 2 and an island. It's got Proliferate, and you draw a card. Subtle Strike. It's an instant for 1 in a swamp. Choose one or both. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Catacomb Crocodile. It's a 3/7 crocodile for 4 in a swamp. Kiln Fiend. It's a 1/2 elemental beast for 1 in a mountain. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +3/+0 until end of turn. That's not so bad. Thresher Lizard. It's a 3/2. Oh, we've seen this one already. We've already seen the Thresher Lizard. Seek the Horizon. Pretty common card here. It's a sorcery for 3 in a forest. Search your library for up to 3 basic land cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your library. Bestial Menace. It's a sorcery for 3 and 2 forest. Put a 1/1 green snake creature token, a 2/2 green wolf creature token, and a 3/3 green elephant creature token onto the battlefield. Esper Charm. I think I know which one this one is. It's an instant for a plains, an island, and a swamp. Choose one. Destroy target artifact, draw 2 cards, or target player discards 2 cards. Pretty cool. I like that artwork, man. That's freaking tight right there, dude. Fairy Conclave. It's a land that enters tapped, and you can tap it to produce an island, or for 1 in an island, it becomes a 2/1 blue fairy creature token with flying until end of turn. Okay. Recoup. It's a sorcery for 1 in a mountain. Target sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost, and then it itself has got flashback. Well, you're cool. This was a really cool, nifty card here, dude. We got an Animar? Oh, damn, dude. Holy shit, we got Animar Soul of Elements, dude. This is my second most powerful commander right here, dude. Oh, hell yeah, dude. This guy's a bad fucker. I love this. This is my second most powerful commander right here. So it's a 1/1 commander element for an island, a mountain, and a forest. It's got protection from white and black. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on Animar. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each 1/1 counter on them. So what I do is I just got a bunch of artifact creatures that cost like really low. And so I can just keep slapping them down on the field for free, buffing this guy up and playing free shit, dude. Yeah, this guy's a bad fucker, dude. That was sweet. High Troller. It's a test card for 4 and it's a 4/1 Troll Shaman for 3 and a mountain. All targeted spells and abilities cost 2 less and have their targets chosen randomly. What? Whoa, okay. Alright, I gotta go get a drink real quick. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm recording this in the other room right now. My cat's... So, I've got the door shut because I don't like my cat coming in this room. She's just like sitting outside the door, man, waiting for me. Ugh. Angelic Purge. It's a sorcery for 2 in the plains. As an additional cost to cast it, sacrifice a permanent, exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Core Firewalker. It's a 2/2 soldier for 2 plains. It's got protection from red, and whenever a player casts a red spell, you may gain 1 life. That's pretty cool. Humongulus. Haven't we seen this already? It's a 2/5 Humongulus for 4 in an island. No, okay, that was the other guy. And it's got hexproof. Ring Warden Owl. You sound cool. It's a 3/3 bird for 3 and 2 islands. Holy shit, what the... It's got flying and prowess. That's it? You got freaking 3 and 2 islands, man. You are a cool looking owl, I'll give you that. Marauding Bone Slasher. It's a 3/3 zombie minotaur for 2 in a swamp. And it can't block unless you control another zombie. Evan Carr's Justice. It's a sorcery for 2 and 2 swamps. It's got buyback 3, and it deals 2 damage to each creature and each player. Well, that means you're going to hurt me, guy. Don't hurt me. Frontline Rebel. It's a 3/3 human warrior for 2 in a mountain, and it attacks each combat if able. We got Sparkton Dragon. If I remember right, this is a pretty common one. It's a 3/3 dragon for 3 and 2 mountains. It's got flying, and when it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 in a mountain. When you do, it deals 3 damage to any target. Land of War Elves, man! This is like, other than my Gaia's Cradle, this is my favorite card right here, is Land of War Elves, man. It's a 1/1 Elf Druid for a forest, and tap it to add 1 forest. Rancor. It's an enchant creature for a forest. An enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has trample. And if it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return it to the owner's hand. Quasali Pride Mage. It's a 2/2 cat wizard for a forest and a plains. So you're a wizard, but you're not blue. Okay, it's exalted. And 1, sacrifice it. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Ugh. Tectonic Edge. It's a land. Tap it, add one colorless mana to your mana pool, or one tap it, sack it, destroy target non-basic land. Activate this ability only if an opponent controls 4 or more lands. Anna Sanctuary. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Anna's got her own little sanctuary, man. It's an enchantment for 2 and a forest. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control a blue or black permanent, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. If you control a blue permanent and a black permanent, that creature gets +5/+5 until end of turn instead. Well, you're not all too spiffy, but you're not total trash either. Okay, Grasp of Fate. It's an enchantment for 1 and 2 planes. When it enters the battlefield, for each opponent, exile up to one target non-land permanent that player controls until Grasp of Fate leaves the battlefield. I would say you're not all that spiffy, but it only costs 3, dude. Yeah, you only cost 3, dude, so that's fine. Command the Shaft. It's a test card instant for 4 and 2 islands. Look at target opponent's sideboard. You may cast a card from that sideboard without paying its mana cost. Okay. Alright then, guy. We got Gustwalker. It's a 2/2 human wizard for 1 in the plains, and you may exert it as it attacks. When you do, it gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. Benevolent Ancestor. It's a 0/4 spirit with defender for 2 in the plains. Tap it. Prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to target creature or player this turn. Okay. Dragon's Eye Savants. It's a 0/6 human wizard for 1 in an island. It's got Morph. Reveal a blue card in your hand. When Dragon's Eye Savants is turned face up, look at target opponent's hand. I'd rather just play you as a 0/6 wizard, man. You might actually go into my wizard deck, because that'd be nice to have a 0/6 blocker for just fucking 1 in an island, man. Ninja of the Deep Hours. It's a 2/2 human ninja for 3 in an island. It's got Ninjutsu 1 in an island. And when it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. You look cool, dude. I like the look of this guy. Oh no, he's weak for the 3 in an island, but you really want to play him for the Ninjutsu anyway, so that's not so bad. That's not so bad if you're going to Ninjutsu him. Ancestral Vengeance. It's an enchant creature for 2 swamps. And when it enters the battlefield, I think we've seen this one. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, and enchanted creature gets -1/-1. We've either seen that one or one just like it. Hired Blade. It's a 3/2 human assassin for 2 in a swamp. It's got flash. Dynacharge. It's an instant for a mountain, and target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Or you can overload it for 2 in a mountain. That's actually not so shabby. For 2 in a mountain, giving all of your guys +2/+0. That's actually not so shabby. Another lightning bolt. Ondu Giant. It's a 2/4 giant druid for 3 in a forest. And when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle your library. Lay of the Land. Didn't we see this one already? It's a sorcery for forest. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it to your hand, then shuffle your library. I think we've seen that one. Pretty common one, that Lay of the Land. Unflinching Courage. It's an enchant creature for 1, a forest, and a plains. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has trample and lifelink. That's pretty good for 3, dude. That's a pretty good deal. Crystal Ball? I don't think I've ever seen you. It's an artifact for 3. 1 tap it, scry 2. Huh. Yeah, I'm not impressed with you, guy. We got another Eldrazi in here? Pathraiser of Ulamog. It's a 9/9 Eldrazi for 11 with Annihilator 3, and it can't be blocked except by 3 or more creatures. Holy shit. That was cool. Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. It's a 2/3 Commander Elf Scout. Ooh, we got a Commander Elf for 1 and 2 forest. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, its controller may draw a card if its power is greater than each other creature's power. What? A forest, tap it. Add X mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Huh. Interesting. Trying to decide whether or not that'd go in my elf deck. All right, and we got Seasoned Weaponsmith. It's a test card 5/2 bird warrior for 2 and a mountain. Tasty. What? This creature can be attacked directly. If it is attacked, it can't block creatures that didn't attack it. What? That thing's all funky, dude. I don't like you. You're stupid as hell, man. All right, we're down to our final 3 packs, man. We got Ephemerate. It's a pretty common card. It's an instant for a plains. Exile target creature you control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Rebound. So it's just a blink card. We got the Cartouche or whatever of Solidarity. It's an enchant creature for a plains. And when it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance, and enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has first strike. That's a lot for just one land, man. We got Slitherblade. It's a 1/2 Naga Rogue for an island, and it can't be blocked. It's an unblockable guy. Omen Speaker. It's a 1/3 human wizard for 1 and an island, and when it enters, you scry 2. Weirded Vampire. It's a 3/3 vampire horror for 3 in a swamp, and it's got Madness 2 in a swamp. Gruesome Fate. It's a sorcery for 2 in a swamp. Each opponent loses 1 life for each creature you control. Holy fuck. Ooh, this is going in my rat deck, dude. Yeah, that's got to go in my rat deck, dude. You only cost 3. That's a good one. Spark Spitter. It's a 1/3 elemental shapeshifter for 2 in a mountain. And for 1 mountain and tap it, discard a card. Create a 3/1 red elemental creature token named Spark Elemental. It has trample, haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice Spark Elemental. Okay, you kind of suck. You have to discard a card to get a card that's going to be destroyed at the end of turn. Jackal Pup. It's a 2/1 Jackal for 1 mountain. And when it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to you. Oh, you suck, dude. I don't like you at all. Quiet Disrepair. It's an enchantment for 1 in a forest. Enchant artifact or enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose 1. Destroy enchanted permanent or you gain 2 life. Adventurous Impulse. Pretty common one here. It's a sorcery for a forest. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Riptide Crab. It's a 1/3 crab for 1, a plains and an island. Vigilance, and when it dies, you draw a card. Yeah, you're not so spiffy. Hot Soup. I've seen this one before. I don't know how common it is. It's an artifact equipment for 1. Equipped creature can't be blocked. Whenever equipped creature is dealt damage, destroy it. Equipped for 3. We got Corrupted Conscience. It's an enchant creature for 3 and 2 island. You control enchanted creature. Enchanted creature has infect. Well, that's cool. So you take control of it and give it infect. Holy shit, that was pretty sweet. Whelming Wave. It's a sorcery for 2 and 2 islands. Return all creatures to their owner's hands except for krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents. Yeah, I've seen this one. Do-Over. What the fuck? It's a test card instant for 1 in an island. Restart the turn except with this in exile. What? Dude, that would be so hard to keep track of. How do you know, what the fuck all got played this turn, man? Holy shit. Oh my god. That'd be like impossible to keep track of, man. Alley Evasion. It's an instant for a plains. Choose 1. Target creature you control gets +1/+2 until end of turn. or return target creature you control to its owner's hand. We got Wake the Reflections. It's a sorcery for planes. It's got Populate. That's what it does. Water Courser. It's a 2/3 elemental for 2 and an island. And for 1 island, it gets +1/-1 until end of turn. Court Husser. It's a 1/3 knight for 2 and an island. It's got Vigilance, and when it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Then put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless a plains was spent to cast it. Okay. Plaguecrafter. It's a 3/2 human shaman for 2 and a swamp. And when it enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. Fallen Angel. It's a 3/3 angel for 3 and 2 swamps. Flying. Sacrifice a creature. Fallen Angel gets +2/+1 until end of turn. Vandalize. It's a sorcery for 4 and a mountain. Choose one or both. Destroy target artifact or destroy target land. Curse of the Nightly Hunt again. Rampant Growth, incredibly common one here. It's a sorcery for 1 in a forest. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped. Shuffle your library. Reclaiming Vines, another common one here. It's a sorcery for 2 and 2 forest. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. Prophetic Bolt. It's an instant for 3, an island, and a mountain. It deals 4 damage to target creature or player. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. 4 damage and draw a card. Okay, that's not so shabby. Wirewood Lodge. This one's bitchin', dude. Oh, this is a hardcore card, dude. It's a land that produces 1 colorless mana. Or for a forest, you could tap it to untap target elf, dude. That is a tight one. This is a good card, dude. Flame Shot. Sorcery for 3 and a mountain. You may discard a mountain from your hand instead of paying Flame Shot's mana cost. Flame Shot deals 3 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Okay. Meandering Tower Shell. This guy's not all that impressive if it's who I'm thinking of. It's a 5/9 turtle for 3 and 2 forest. It's got Island Walk, and whenever it attacks, exile it. Return it to the battlefield under your control tapped and attacking at the beginning of the declare attacker step on your next turn. Yeah, this thing's freaking dumb as hell, man. I don't like that turtle at all, man. Bind/Liberate. It's a test card instant for 1 and a forest. Counter target activated ability. Draw a card. Liberate. 1 and in a plains? Yeah, 1 in a plains. Instant. Exile target creature you control. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next instant. I have no idea what's going on with this card, dude. That card was doing 2 different things at the same time, man. This is our last pack right here, man. We got another Savannah Lions. We got Gideon's Lawkeeper. It's a 1/1 human soldier for a plains. Plains, tap it, tap target creature. Actually, I don't know if we've seen one of these in this box yet. That might have been the last box I opened. It's a 2/1 cat for a plains. Grasp of Phantoms. It's a sorcery for 3 and an island. Put target creature on top of its owner's library. It's got flashback 7 and an island. We got Hieroglyphic Illumination. And my voice is starting to give out, dude, so it's a good thing this is our last pack, man. It's an instant for 3 and an island. Draw 2 cards. Cycling an island. Defeat. It's a sorcery for 1 in a swamp. Destroy target creature with power 2 or less. Wander in Death. It's a sorcery for 2 in a swamp. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Cycling 2. Gore Swine. It's a 4/1 boar for 2 in a mountain. Spark Tongue Dragon again. Elvish Fury. Hell yeah, dude. It's an instant for a forest. It's got buyback 4. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Oh, I was thinking the other one. This is not the one I was thinking of. Another Conifer Strider. Hammer Dropper. It's a 5/2 giant soldier for 2, a mountain and a plains. It's got Mentor. Okay, I'm going to start with the back card, the test card, and we're going to see what our last really good cards are, man. So we're going to skip over to this real quick. To Bolt the Chaotic. It's a test card. Planeswalker with 4 loyalty, and it costs 1 and 2 mountain. +1. Cast a copy of one of the following cards chosen at random. Ignorant Bliss, Crack the Earth, or Blazing Valley. Volley. Well, I don't know what those are, guy. -3. Cast a copy of one of the following cards chosen at random. Seething Song, Dance with Devils, Flame Break. What the fuck? -6. Cast a card of one of the following cards chosen at random. Okay, Alien Eruption, Insurrection, or Warp World. What the fuck? I don't know what any of those are, guy. I'll memorize every single card in the game, guy. We got Ornithopter, very common card here. It's a 0/2 Thopter for 0. That's what makes it so good. And it's got flying. All right, let's see what our last cards are, man. Brimstone Mage. It's a, I don't know, 2/2, I guess. It's a 2/2 Human Shaman for 2 and a mountain. It's got level up 3 and a mountain. So when it gets to level 1 and 2, it's got tap it, and it deals 1 damage to target creature or player, and it becomes a 2/3. At level 3 plus, it's a 2/4, and it deals 3 damage when you tap it to target creature or player instead. You really suck, dude. For such a weak guy, you have a really high level up cost, man. Holy shit. Mimic Vat. This is a good one, dude. It's an artifact for 3. Imprint. Whenever a non-token creature dies, you may exile that card. If you do, return each other card exiled with Mimic Vat to its owner's graveyard. 3, tap it. Create a token that's a copy of a card exiled with Mimic Vat. It gains haste, exiled at the beginning of the next end step. So yeah, that's a really good one. So there you have it. That's the Magic the Gathering Convention Edition Mystery Booster Box. We got our Animar. That's probably our best card in there. We got some good stuff in there. I'd say it's a good box. The problem is for being a convention only, you can only get it at convention, or you have to get the secret layer, For all that, the specialness of it, yeah, it wasn't that great of a box, but it was a good box. I liked it. It had some good stuff in it, but you would expect a little bit more for being such a, it's, supposedly a super spiffy box. But we got some Eldrazi's, we got our Animar, we got some good stuff in there. So I'd say it's a good box, not an amazing box, but a good box. It had some good stuff in there. So that's it. There you go. There you have it. That's the convention